Hello, Andy. And I have done most of the functions, and so just to give you this video to show you the results, and also explains the reason why it needs near 3 weeks of the work. To be frank, the work is um, out of my first imagine, and it's really a very hard work. So the reason contains the first one is it needs a little time to decompile the Windows application at first to know the internal logic about the how to render the report according to the definition, layout, and the parameters, and also some other small issues that I have. And after get some investigation of the current code, and I found that the logic is very complicated, and also there are some many code that are hard coded and cannot be used again. So that is the first reason. The second reason is as a web application that is quite different than a Windows Phone. And at first, I just want to use it, use the wizard control of ASP.NET. But after some hard work, I found that it is impossible because the wizard step is different for different reports. So that is dynamic. We need to create the wizard step by a report dynamically. And but for ASP.NET, if we create the control dynamically, we need to maintain the view state. That is very hard to do that because we also have the back next button. When click back or click the next button, all of the dynamic steps are disappeared because according to the ASP.NET web programming framework, it will construct the control hierarchy again. So all of the data disappears. If we use the view state to keep the state, but for the dynamic controls, we cannot. That is very hard to do that. So after the final investigation, and I decided to use MVC. You know, MVC is stateless method. We cannot keep the state, and so most of the functions I used in JavaScript. Okay, so you can check the source code, and you will know how much work effort I added to our work. And so for example, for the index page, home, to keep the dynamic control steps, and also keep the state, I added many JavaScript code. In fact, it's nearly 1,000 lines of code to our application. We use a lot of jQuery and Ajax core to get the data and to keep the state. You can see that we have nearly 800 lines of code, and also in the home, in the controller, we also have different code. It is more than and also for the report engine, I did a lot of change to the previous code from the decompile. And for example, in the previous code, it just used the registry for the database connection. But right now, I just changed it to the configuration, so that is easy to maintenance the connection is the database, and also the layout definition path. Okay, so that is also hard coded before, and also added the Active Directory authentication. So this is the login page. Just type in this is my current company domain, and I tested it as my local, and check. This is my domain account, and also type in my password. And log on, and it will check it in the directory service. We can just go through. If it is successful, it will go to the index page, and you will check if this user is authenticated. If so, it will go to the index. If not, it will show the error and still keeping the user in the login page. Yeah, this is the report view generation wizard we have. This is the list report groups. For example, for the code sentry, it will list all of the, after check, it will list all the reports. If we click next, it will show please choose the report, because you didn't choose the report. Okay, just click the list report and click next. It will show the data from to. We for example check the date and then click next. At first, it just maybe at the first time I run the application, it need a little time to run the data, to load the data from the database. It is also time consuming at the first time, and even sometimes it's timeout, but that is not an issue, just a little slow for the database upload. You can see that it is just a timeout. So anyway, we can just continue and just refresh the page and go and click next. So this time maybe that is okay for the data uploading. You can see that it's just a little slow. And the first, this is according all of the steps are dynamically added according to the report definition. This is the first one to select locations, and we have the locations. Of course, we can just back and click the back. You just go back to the previous step and click next. It will go back and check all. Deselect all. Check all, and it will. And I added a JavaScript code to remember the checked states, and click next. It will show a gathering data. It will go to the next. Select stores. Check all. It's gathering data. And the station groups next, and the stations, and check all. Click next, and you can see that the next is disabled during the gathering process, so user cannot click the next again until the data is gathered. So sometimes it's little time consuming for to gather the customers, because I noticed that there are more than 10,000 customers records in the database. So it's really a little time can need a little time to construct the HTML on the web. That is a little different than the WIN form. In fact, the WIN form is also very slow. So we can just only wait for the data to gathering. And also you can check that the logged in username user account here, and we have a log off. Maybe it's really time consuming because my maybe my local database is very slow.